Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So with the announcement of the new Harry Potter TV series literally breaking the internet with the hype over the series, it was immediately highlighted that a season-long show for each book would finally give us the extra details and missed subplots that were not included in the original movies. Goblet of Fire probably being the one that everyone wants to see done properly, but that's going to be a few years, a few seasons before we actually get that story. Now I'm here to talk about the first season, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, and I'm going to give you 10 things that we should see in the debut season that was left out of the movies, so let's get started. Number 10. Hermione's real appearance. It's no doubt that Emma Watson was as beautiful as an 11-year-old as she is today. She's considered one of the most beautiful women in the world and has been on the front of numerous magazines and adverts, but J.K. Rowling was initially quite hesitant at her casting when Emma got the role. J.K. highlighted how Hermione was written to be quite plain, not bothered about her appearance, wild bushy hair and big, large front teeth you could say. Yet in walks this stunning 11-year-old girl whose beauty literally took the author by such surprise. Now Hermione's hair was meant to look as bushy and wild as possible in the movie, but it lost volume over time, and her large front teeth didn't really suit Emma's petite face and were rather uncomfortable for her to speak in, so they were scrapped. We may see a more book-accurate Hermione in the TV series reboot. Now I'm not saying hire what some would consider a plain-looking child, as every child of such a delicate age should be considered beautiful, but perhaps we'll see a young actor with more similar traits to Hermione, or with it being over 20 years since the first movie, there could be better prosthetics to make her look more realistic. I think with Joe only agreeing to this series if it's as accurate to the books as possible, then we just might see book-accurate Hermione appear in the series. Number 9. Sirius giving Hagrid his motorcycle. You'll notice that Rubeus Hagrid arrives to Privet Drive on a flying motorcycle with his cool sidecart. If you haven't read the books, then you'll have no idea how the half-giant came across the enchanted bike. In fact, it's actually never revealed at any point in any of the movies how Hagrid got that bike, so that just might change in the new TV series when it debuts. Sirius Black actually loaned the bike to Hagrid in order to safely transport baby Harry to his aunt and uncle's home after his parents' death, while Sirius went to confront Peter Pettigrew and was unfortunately framed for murder. It would be nice to see Sirius and Hagrid have a conversation about what's happened before he tells Hagrid to take the bike. The half-giant then went the next 12 years believing he owned the bike of one of the biggest traders to ever claim association with the Order of the Phoenix. It would be a nice scene to watch if you ask me, but who knows, that all remains to be seen. Number 8. Harry meets Draco sooner. In one of the early scenes of the Philosopher's Stone movie, Harry is openly introduced to the first years on the steps by Draco before the Great Hall entrance, to the shock and surprise of everyone. He introduces himself to Harry until Ron abruptly laughs at his name and is therefore heavily insulted by the Malfoy boy, causing Harry to refuse Draco's friendship and begin what would be a huge rivalry lasting close to 7 years. This is seen as their first encounter, and to be honest, it's a pretty memorable moment and something the movie did actually do justice. But that wasn't actually the first time Draco and Harry encountered each other. They crossed paths in Diagon Alley in Madame Malcolm's while shopping for robes, and Draco didn't exactly make a good impression on Harry then either. He was rude, arrogant, and even insulted Hagrid, which Harry didn't like, as Harry was all too pleased to refuse his friendship when the opportunity came later on in the first day of school. I would love to see that scene be shown in the TV series, as it sets up and justifies even more so Harry's decision to reject Draco's offer of friendship. Number 7. Quirrell's real death. You might very well remember in the end of the Philosopher's Stone, Harry touches Quirrell's face and he essentially turns to ash, looking like a burned cigarette, and to be honest, that's a visual that never left my mind even after watching the movie countless times. It's what I link to if I'm ever discussing it with someone who's not too familiar with the Harry Potter movies. Maybe they've seen them once or twice. You know that one where the guy gets turned into ash at the end when Harry touches his face? Is normally my description. However, that's not how Quirrell actually died. Quirrell and Voldemort became completely intertwined in the Professor's body, and what was once Voldemort relying on him for survival then became all even, as Quirrell had to sustain himself with unicorn blood to remain alive. When Voldemort left Quirrell's body, he took a vast portion of Quirrell's strength and life force, as he had been draining him for months, which actually resulted in the latter's death. Voldemort himself confirmed this in the Goblet of Fire, so maybe we'll get to see Quirrell's real death in the upcoming TV series. Number 6. Vernon Dursley's story. In the Philosopher's Stone movie, Vernon and Petunia really are successful with drawing an emotional response from us all. I absolutely loathed the both of them and how nasty they were to Harry, literally making his life a misery. While Petunia references Harry's strangeness as quite similar to his mother's, Vernon seems to be supporting his wife's views, but that's not entirely the case. He despised James Potter himself in reality. He thought James believed that he was better than him because he didn't have to work and was a wizard, which gave Vernon a huge distaste for magic. It was actually Vernon who wanted to ban all talk of magic from the home, and that's why he burned Harry's letters and did everything possible to stop Harry from going to Hogwarts. Vernon sensed the change when Voldemort was defeated and wasn't surprised to discover that James and Lily had been killed. It would be nice to see this included in a TV series, so it gives us a better view of Vernon's character. Number 5. The Philosopher's Stone tasks in full. If you've only ever seen the movie, then you'll remember the tests that the trio had to pass in order to gain access to the Philosopher's Stone. They had to tame Fluffy the three-headed dog, then pass through Devil's Snare, then there was the Winged Keys, then play a grueling game of Wizard's Chess which nearly seen Ron lose his life. However, the movie left out 2 additional tasks that were included in the books. They had to take down a troll and complete Snape's 7 potions too, before reaching the Mirror of Erised, the final test. I think that the TV series will show us the full 7 tasks and maybe highlight the troll and potions more heavily, as it was deemed not exactly excitable for a movie to include them in. I'd say taking a troll down is pretty exciting, but I'm pretty certain they'll show everything in the series and in the proper order of which they're completed. Number 4. Harry's real appearance. Now, I mentioned Hermione's appearance earlier in the video being revisited in the TV reboot, but something that many fans have mentioned over the years is the actual colour of Harry's eyes being inaccurate. Now, you'd initially think, well, it's just eye colour, it's not that big a deal, but it actually is, as Harry's eyes are a focal point to his connection to his mother Lily. Lily had beautiful piercing green eyes that really highlighted her beauty. It was what Severus Snape loved about her and how he was able to remember her so vividly. Something that catches him off guard is noticing that Harry had his mother's green eyes, something other characters who knew Lily also noticed within Harry. Unfortunately for the original Harry Potter actor Daniel Radcliffe, he took a severe reaction to the green eye contacts he initially wore, and producers felt that after adding the CGI effect to change his eye colour green, it still looked extremely unnatural, so they just went with Daniel's natural blue eyes for the first movie and all of the additional films too. Small detail for some, but let's hope that a book-accurate addition to the new show with a green-eyed child actor, or even with better technology today, that they can change the eye colour, or maybe they might just get lucky with the new Harry Potter not having a reaction to contact lenses. Number 3. Harry and the Mirror of Erised. Harry's first encounter with the Mirror of Erised is quite a memorable moment, as it draws the audience into Harry's heart as he sees his parents' full bodies standing before him alive and well. He loses himself in the mirror, just staring at the mother and father he never truly knew, one of the dangers of the mirror, as a matter of fact, but that's not exactly how it happens in the book. Harry just doesn't see his parents, but his grandparents and great-grandparents too, as he recognises the traits he shares with them all individually. I think this will be a wonderful scene to see in the reboot, and something I'll be looking for when the show debuts on Max. Number 2. Charlie Weasley. The only Weasley never to appear in any of the films, not even at Bill and Fleur's wedding, Charlie Weasley is totally absent for the duration of the Potter movies, but he does appear in the book several times, and his first appearance is of course in the Philosopher's Stone, with Hagrid illegally harbouring a baby dragon in his hut on school grounds. I mean, if that doesn't spell danger, I don't know what does. Charlie Weasley, an expert on dragons, comes from Romania to help Hagrid discreetly remove Norbert from the country to go and live in a colony with other dragons of its kind. Even with such a small appearance, it would be nice to put an actor to the face of Charlie, as I believe the character did deserve more in terms of really being on screen, so let's hope we get to see that happen too. Number 1. How Harry gets to King's Cross. How Harry gets to King's Cross Station is another thing that was changed in the movie and not exactly accurate to the book. In the movie, it's Hagrid that takes the boy to King's Cross Station and gives him his ticket before sending Harry on his way and just disappearing. But if we actually reference the book, it's a different story. The Dursleys, wanting to ensure Harry actually leaves, drives their nephew to King's Cross with a few insults along the way and before he gets out of the car. This scene in the book is super important because it represents Harry's last moments of the miserable, abusive life he's lived under the care, and I say care very lightly, for a long time under his aunt and uncle. Afterwards, Harry meets the loving Weasley family and his future best friend Ron, and finally begins his journey. There you have it, guys. There are 10 things that I think are going to be shown in the new Harry Potter TV series. Let me know your own opinions in the comment section below. Make sure to look out for the next video. It could be better than this one.